Hey guys, Chef Ro here. Today I'm going to show you how to make pot stickers. The shape of pot stickers, you have to start with a round wrapper, and if you can't find the round wrappers, you can just buy the square ones and take either a glass or a cookie cutter or a measuring cup even. A 1 cup measuring cup is usually a pretty good size, especially if it's a metal one. And then you have this lovely round wrapper here. Okay, this is great if you fry it and just put it on top of salads. Okay, doesn't have to go in the trash. Now, I've got my filling here. This is the recipe that's on the website, or you can use whatever filling you want for your pot stickers. And you want to just put a little bit of filling in there. The biggest problem people have is that they put too much filling in there. I always say people get too hungry. Okay, now you want to see how I put water around half of it, and then you're going to press out all the air bubbles, and see, I even got almost too much filling in there. Okay, you want to get all the air out, set them flat, and then you can make your pleats like this. Okay, pinch those sides together. That water will help seal it. Okay, and this is how you've shaped your pot sticker. Show you one more time. Take your little bit of meat. Again, try not to get too hungry. That's the biggest mistake people make. That's why using a big spoon is not always ideal. You usually want to use a little bit smaller spoon than the one I have. Okay, get your finger wet. Around half only. Okay, up, over, just like this. All the air out. Flat bottom, pleated top. Okay, and here is another pot sticker. Now, while you're doing all of these, what I do is I put them onto a sheet tray that has a piece of parchment and some cornstarch on it, because otherwise some moisture will start going through here, and this will make this stick to the bottom. But the best way you usually want to do this is an assembly line. It's the fastest, most efficient way. So you sit here and you'll take this and you'll put your filling into all of them, just like this, right? And then you go back through and you wet them all. Then you go back through and you fold them all. That is always going to be your most efficient way of doing it for anything, not just dumplings, any project that you're working on. Assembly line, do all of one thing, then do all of the next step, etc., etc. That's the only way that you can get mass quantities of food done in a small amount of time. Okay, now that our pot stickers are all shaped, now we are going to cook them. Now this is a combination of frying and steaming. So these are made in a combination fashion. So what we're going to do is kind of brush off any of this cornstarch. So you can see I have just enough oil to kind of barely cover the bottom of this pan here, and I've got it on about a medium heat right now. And so I'm going to take my dumplings, and do you see how it's not bubbling immediately? It means it's not ready. So you got to give it another second and let it heat up. Okay, you want there to just be bubbles immediately around the dumpling, or else that oil isn't hot enough yet, and you really need it to get hot in the beginning. Now I did choose a non-stick pan here, which in general I don't particularly care for, just because of various reasons. But for a dumpling like this, a non-stick pan actually is the ideal choice, because in a stainless steel environment, they will often get stuck to the pan, and so it's just more of a hassle than anything, and you lose the crunchy bottom of the pot sticker itself. So you can see, we're just gonna now see those bubbles. That means we are now ready. So you want to make sure if the oil has pooled in some way, because most stoves, quite frankly, aren't leveled quite correctly. So they do this. So just make sure you push a little oil with you. Okay, this one's a little burst. It won't matter in a pan seared way as much as it would for a deep fry. Okay, so all of them have a little bit of oil on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait until those are brown and crispy at the bottom. Then we're going to add a little bit of water very carefully, because oil and water, we know, are not friends, and put a lid on it and turn it all the way down as low as we can to get them to steam. Okay, So we check, see, not quite brown yet, but it's starting to get there. You can see so that it almost has that look of a fried. See that one? So when 90% of them look like this, then we are good to go. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have a measuring cup with some water available, and you're going to need a lid. Okay, you don't need a lot of water, because if you put too much water in there, you're going to ruin this crispy bottom that we're trying to achieve right now. Okay, so you're going to do just enough water. So you can see I'm starting to get brown everywhere, all of them, most of them. Let's give this guy a little switch. Apparently my stove is really unleveled today. So you can see they're all nice and brown and crispy on the bottom. So, as I said, oil and water, they don't mix. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this lid as a shield. Now this lid doesn't fit this pan, but it's the closest one I've got. So I'm going to use it as a shield. I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here. You can see just barely enough to cover the bottom. Put that lid on all the way down. We'll come back and I'll show you when they're done. Okay, so you can see now that these are clear. The wrappers have turned clear, and you can see through them that the meat has changed color. And if you have the hands that can touch it, you can feel that the meat has gotten firm. That is how we know these are done. So now we can just take them out. Now if you need to make another batch, you can make another batch after batch after batch. You might just need to wipe it out, especially if it's got too much water in it. And these are ready to serve.